Let's get it!
Broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place to be.
Well, they're actually in the Bay Area.
Yes!
But they are the premier Pacifica show that shines a spotlight on positive Pacific Islanders.
You listening to the sound.
Role models coming brown every Thursday night at 6.
East to west, we getting hurt.
Brought to you by Pacifica by Design. It's the iconic Faika podcast with your hosts, Naki and Carl.
What's up, Naki?
Hi, Carl.
We are on time and we're well armed. We have sound effects this week that our producers Mena and Nainoa are armed with. So we may sound like a cheesy morning show talk show today at some point, but we got new tools. We are on time though, so we've been working hard at that to make sure that we start on time. So let's see. We have season 7. What is this episode? Episode 9?
Yep.
Episode 9. So today we are going to do our Pacifica Proud portion. That's becoming a mainstay. Thank you to Chimena for suggesting that. So that is a mainstay each week. We have our community announcements. We've got some cool stuff coming up. Some of it local, some of it not. Naki and I found we got a recommendation. We didn't find a new show. We got recommended Night Agent. And we both watched several episodes. I don't know how many Naki watched last night, but I binge watched about half of the first season. Had a hard time turning it off. So we're going to talk about Night Agent. And then hot off the presses, President Trump back in the news again, not for good reasons. Don't know a whole lot about it, but he made the news about an hour ago. Not often we get a break news on this show, but we'll touch on that. And then unfortunately, we have another school shooting. We're going to talk about it. We're definitely not going to play video or do any of that kind of stuff, but it is in the news. So we are going to talk about that. We have our check-ins. All that starts right now. Naki, what's good?
Hey. What happened? Well, like you mentioned, Trump was going to jail. Yeah, Trump's going to jail if we're lucky. What else? We have our guests, like you said.
We have an interview.
We have an interview with AJ and Mark, who is with Nesian Built Apparel.
Built, of which this hat, when we have a single shot of me, we have the hat that I bought I bought a hat, I bought some socks, and I am getting there you go, right there, Nesian Built. It is a well-fitting, well-built. It's a hat that's going to last, so it's not going to be one of those hats you buy and then have to replace quickly. We actually talked about that, about product quality. And then I'm also wearing a Levasa sweatshirt. And I'm all geared up today. I got my All My Usos t-shirt on underneath, so all geared up for today. But yeah, we've got Nesian Built. In the second half, we have an interview with the entrepreneurs from, I think, Kent, Washington, up around the way. So stick around for that interview. That was a lot of fun and really good product.
Yeah. AJ and Mark. So I'm looking forward to everyone learning about them and all the amazing work that they're doing with their company. So stay tuned. That's coming like in a little bit. You had Sunga time today.
It's been a good week. I got some Sunga time. We got to hang out on the couch and do what we do. We make a great team. I scratch her belly and she likes it. That's about the teamwork that we have.
We had we had Koviki Talk Monday with Ashanti and Deacon Driscoll, who did Koviki Talk in Kosrayan. At Kosrayan, and Deacon Driscoll is in Washington, and our Shanti is in Hawaii. And then what else is coming up? We have tons of stuff. We're trying to get to New York.
We just found out that we're headed to New York. We don't know what the flight is or what city it goes out of or where we land or any of that, but So Naki sends me a message, and this is always my response. She was laughing. She said, New York? And I said, in.
Yes.
And that's all I say is when people's like, oh, you want to go here? I just say I'm in.
Yeah.
And I was like, as always, I have no idea what she's asking me about New York, but if she's asking me if I want to go to New York, I always want to go. I want to travel. I want to see new people and faces and all that kind of stuff.
I've never been to New York. So the people at Heva Pacifica, New York City, tagged us in a post. And then I was like, New York City?
We're like event whores.
Yeah. So it's,
people send us stuff and we're like, yes, we're going. We're going.
So it's the first large scale Pacific Islander Festival that's happening in New York in September. So we're trying to get there. So
Naki knows all about
it's
Heva's.
happening.
She was a MC for the Heva Otaori event in Fairfield 3 years ago.
3, maybe longer than that.
With Londi and
yes. And so that Heva Pacifica, New York City is happening September 29th and 30th. So we may or may not get there depending, but I'm kind of excited because I've never been to New York City. So
New York City.
That could happen. But yeah, nothing really crazy is going on. I'm just chilling. I've been trying to relax because I had this big project at work that I've been working on since last year. And it finally has made its round of completion this week. So I'm excited about that. And that's basically it. I don't really like to talk about work. Now my boss, who's like, he's very funny. And so, but he's a big wig at work. And so when we go into these big meetings, I have nothing to do with the meeting. I'm just there to listen and, it's informational. It's an informational meeting. And out of nowhere, he'll go, Annette, you had your hand raised. What did you have a question? And I'm like, I wasn't even.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Yeah. No. So, I just been busy with Merck. My daughter has been busy with softball. So I'm excited for her. She started softball season. And so she has a game as we speak. So Mo's at the game.
How's she liking that? How's she liking the diamond?
She likes it. She really likes it. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I played baseball, Little League baseball, when I was younger. So I'm happy that she's getting into softball. So yeah, nothing. My Warriors are up and down. And so
playoffs start. In the playoffs right now?
No, not yet. They're not even in the playoffs.
What?
I don't think that they still have a chance.
I think they're in the playoffs.
Are they in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they're in the playoffs.
I thought they were like.
They're not a high seed.
Yeah,
they got to catch fire, but they're not going to miss the playoffs. But I don't know if we're actually in the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
So here's the craziness of the NBA season this year. Yeah. The Warriors are backing into the playoffs, and the Sacramento Kings are the 3 seed. So that's how off the NBA season is this year. The Kings.
Usually it doesn't really mean anything because I don't know.
Steph and them got their rings. So if they're not still winning rings, they got rings.
Okay, yeah, but we need more rings, so we're a little greedy, just a little greedy.
Bay Area sports fans are so spoiled.
I know.
You got the Niners going to the Super Bowl. You have the Warriors
Giants,
winning. Yeah, the Giants winning. Right. Well, except for the other side of the Raiders and the A's. I'm
wrong. In the Western Conference, they're in 6th place. That's actually
the 6th seed.
They're in the 6th seed. So
well, they're used to being the 1 or the 2.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. So yeah. So I'm, I would love to go to a Warriors game, but they've made it impossible for the poor people to go. So I'm just gonna put that out into the universe. Somebody send me to a Warriors game. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, probably be JT again. Find a way to spoil you some more.
I love JT.
JT and Rhythmic Catalysts spoiled Naki for sporting events.
Forever and a day.
She wants VIP in the suite, some kind of skip the line.
If that's
special
possible.
Privilege.
I'm not asking for much. I'm just not asking for much. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the Bay Area. There's a lot of concerts that Rhythmic Catalyst is putting out. They are having, of course, our guest last week was Fee, and she'll be performing with Fia, the singer Fia, who has a lot of my favorite songs that I have on repeat. Who else? Ekolu was last week. They have Will Gittin, I think that's how you say it. He's huge. His voice is amazing. He has tons and tons of followers on social media, but his voice is really amazing. And that's April 28th, of course, in
Coming up.
Milpitas. And that go follow and get your tickets at Rhythmic Catalyst. That's my Rhythmic Catalyst commercial.
That's not even on the agenda. It just rolls right off the head.
I know. I'm so used to that. But yeah, I think that's basically what I've just been chill this week because that big project that I was on is like done. So I've just been really chilling. I'm really enjoying not having to do anything. So there you go. How about you?
Oh, let's see. So my mother-in-law is in town.
Yay!
She showed up yesterday, and then her and Nicole
took
off to go to
get away from you,
Esalen or Monterey or Carmel.
Good for them.
Or some hoity-toity place by the ocean. Good for them.
Good for them.
And that leaves just us men at the house. And I don't think we've cooked a dang thing since. Maybe toast, but it's been leftovers and burgers and I don't even know what, but none of it healthy, none of it good, and none of it made at the house.
Well, and we just had taco salads from the restaurant across the way.
We did. We had so that'll continue until tomorrow when they come back.
Yes.
I am looking into building a greenhouse, and then I just realized as I came in and sat down today, our very own Leah Poasa works in greenhouses all day.
That's where you get help from.
Just remembered that I'll probably be reaching out to Leah, Flip It Girl. Follow her on Instagram. What else is going on? So one of the reasons I'm building a greenhouse is I want to grow my own breadfruit, ulu.
Nice.
And just on a whim, I was like, I wonder if I can order it. And I did. And I dropped an ulu off with the man of the house today when I came in for Sunga time. I gave Mose the
Lord,
the man of the house, the breadfruit.
Carry on.
And let's see. That is what's going on. I mean, it's not a whole lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on during the week, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm just going to chill out, going to a birthday party. So I'm happy about that. But this week I did watch a lot of TV. So since my project has been over, I watched Jane the Virgin, like all 5 episodes, all 5 seasons.
All 5
seasons.
There's like 1 or 2 episodes per season.
No, the first season was like 23, 24 episodes.
And you still got through all 5 seasons. Oh my gosh.
So I don't know how long that has been out, but I was like,
that's
I'm watching
serious binging.
Yeah. I haven't slept since Sunday. But Jane the Virgin, I think it's Gina Rodriguez is the star. It's like a no-brainer. Like you don't have to think kind of thing. So I enjoyed that. And then we started another
Night Agent. So this came on a recommendation,
right?
And Naki and I were like, "Oh, you know what? I got to go start that." And I started it, and it started off fast, and it kind of drug a little bit.
Yeah.
And now I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm going to end up going home tonight.
So I've watched 2 seasons of The Night Agent, and it's starring
2 episodes.
2 episodes. I watched 2 episodes. I think I started 3. in between my breaks and lunch. But it's starring a Tongan actress, Luciana Buchanan, and it's on Netflix. It's a thriller, and it's currently number 1 in the USA and New Zealand. And so it's a TV series, or it's a series. Look how cute she is. And in the movie and in the show, she's starring with some guy.
And she's Pacific Islander.
But she's a Pacific Islander. And so Mo watched the whole thing. Like, he watched the whole thing. And then today I was like, oh, I just started The Night Agent, and he was like, "Oh, that was so good." He watched it the whole. I guess there's 10 episodes. He watched the whole thing, and then I said, "Oh, what did you think of that Tongan actress?" And he said, "What Tongan actress?" And I said, "The star of the show, the girl." And he's like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know she was Pacific Islander." And he's like, so then,
he watched the whole thing cold, like he didn't know.
He didn't know about Lucy on it.
So that's how you know it's a good show, is when a Pacific Islander sits through the whole thing without doing the it's a PI person. I have to right.
Yeah. So he loved it. What the 2 episodes that I did watch and that I got out of it is that she was a witness to a crime, and now everybody and their mama is after her.
Everybody's interested in her right now.
Right.
She's got some enemies, and we don't, no spoilers, but they did get picked up for a second season.
Yeah. So like 6 days after it came out,
right,
because it went crazy, they were very quickly picked up for a second season.
That's a good sign.
Congratulations.
That is a good sign. And there are some big names from a series standpoint. There are recognizable faces in that. So it's good to be rubbing shoulders with those level people.
Yeah.
And she's doing a good job. Yes. She's doing a good job holding it. She is holding her own in terms of the acting and the delivery and all those kind of things. Really good show. And yeah, like I said, I will be up late tonight because I'm going to go home and watch more. Yeah. I'm probably going to finish the season.
Yeah. So she's Luciano Buchanan is the main actress, and then the actor is Gabriel Basso. So it's a good show. I just need to, what do you call it? Back to back, have time to go back to back. So check it out. Netflix. It's number 1 in the US and New Zealand. And she was born in Aotearoa, and did her acting and training there. But I don't know where she currently lives. Maybe I think it's in the States. Not sure.
So but interesting. Good movie from the standpoint. They have women in roles and positions of power.
Right.
I mean, it's refreshing to see, you know what I mean? The women aren't all the supporting roles. The actual president of the United States is a woman.
So there you go. Go check it out. It's really good. It's action packed. It's one of those spy kind of figure this shit out kind of movie.
Is that what spy stuff is?
Yeah.
Figure this shit out?
Figure shit out kind of movie. So
there's the technical term.
The technical term.
The knacky review of the film is figure ish out.
Yes. Figure shit out. And it's a thriller. Is it a thriller?
It's a
Would you
spy
thriller.
Yeah.
So you just gotta figure out who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. So
it's a spy thing. You're not quite sure who's on whose side.
Yeah.
They could be on your side this episode, then not on your side the next episode.
Yes.
So it's got those kind of twists and turns. Well written, but she does a really good job.
Yeah, she does a great job. So she's I would give her some kind of whatever the
bunch of coconuts, like 5 coconuts.
5 coconuts. She's totally got 5 coconuts from us. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. Go check it out. It's good. You know what else I forgot to mention that I've been doing sign language.
What? ASL?
Well, not ASL. ASL TikTok.
Oh, yes. TikTok sign. That's a little different than ASL, I think.
Yeah, it's TikTok. But TikTok has been teaching me sign language. So yes, thank you.
There you go.
See, thank you, bitch. This is ass. What's up, bitch? See, I'm learning all that stuff.
It's
I'm
like learning
terms.
Samoan. You learn all the bad terms first.
I'm learning all the terms that I use frequently in
conversational
sign language.
Yes,
so that I don't actually have to say the words. I could just,
we taught we didn't teach them. Thank you, bitch. But before the triplets could speak,
I remember
we taught them thank you
in sign language.
Milk, more, yes, no, all those kind of things. And
that's awesome.
So milk is this, like milking a cow. And when they wanted milk, they would do the milk. And when they were like really wanted milk, Ty would do milk like a big, like this. He wants
lots of milk.
Really thirsty.
Very cute. Very cute. Yeah. So I'm doing sign language. I mean, I'm interested. It's caught my eye on TikTok.
So. You're like somebody learning Samoan.
Yeah.
What words did you learn? All the bad ones.
I learned what's up, bitch. Everything ends in. Everything ends in that. So there you go.
That's awful close to thank you.
Thank you. There you go.
And
no.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No.
See, I don't know the bad ones. I know a few of the
yes. This
Apple.
Yes. There you go. So I learned a lot, and so
see, there you go. There's like the end of the world is social media, but Naki's learning sign language, so it can't all be bad.
There you go. Also, bad news we were talking about.
Bad news. Back in the news again. We had another shooting.
Yep.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
I have a lady that used to work for me. Her husband was a police officer in Torrance, and they left California after he retired. They moved to Tennessee, and I was hearing a lot of the talk of this one, just in contrast to Uvalde, right? In Uvalde, it was 77 minutes before they put an end to that. And they had cops waiting outside. They had cops that were refusing to go in, or for whatever reason, they had cops there that weren't going in. I watched the body cam footage of the police officer that was leading the clearing of the building. And that guy was at the door waiting for the other cops, and he was yelling, "Come on, let's go." Like he was not waiting for anything. And they went in and cleared that building. 14 minutes from the first call.
Nice.
You
know what I mean? It's like bittersweet.
But after Uvalde, it's never good to see, but the reaction of the police and just hearing them yelling, "Come on, let's go," meaning we got to get in there. And it was intense footage because you could hear they were searching, going room for room, and then they heard the shots, and they were like, "Oh, well, now we know where they're at," and they're running towards the gunfire. I mean, it was the sirens are going off inside the school. Just a really intense moment. And I think the term hero is overused nowadays. The cops that responded to that were heroes. Horrible to see. 3 children and 3 adults. I think it was 2 teachers and a janitor. And then 3
custodian, substitute teacher, 3 9-year-olds.
3 9-year-olds. So what is that?
9-year-olds.
7th grade? I mean, 5th grade, 4th grade, something like that. But just horrible. And then the conversation starts. One thing that really bugs me with these things beyond, obviously kids dying is horrible, right? They don't even let things settle before there's the political discussion of gun control or these kind of things. It's like we're mourning kids that died at school where they're supposed to be learning and they're supposed to be, feel safe and those kind of things. And people are already standing on the incident saying gun control or no gun control or,
that, and there's no court trial or anything because the person that did the shooting was killed at the scene.
Right.
So there you go.
Hearts and our prayers go out to the families, loved ones. It's just it's a tough time. There's simple things that could be done at this point. Like right now, the local police department could take a cop car and put it in front of a school, even if there's no officer in it. You know what I mean? Like there's
They
thoughts.
They don't have the. I don't think they have. What do you call it? That many officers or the money for that to have an officer sit at the school.
No, just the car. Just park a car. Don't even need an officer.
Oh.
Get cars to places. You know how they have volunteer fire departments?
Yeah.
If you offer a volunteer program to allow, so you're in Solano County here. Is that what this is?
Uh-huh.
If you were to have a program in Solano County, any peace officer, corrections officer, probation officer, law enforcement officer could volunteer time at schools. They're not going to cover every school, but I guarantee you'd have people volunteering for those things. The other thing is like the defense budget is $800 billion.
Yeah.
Take some of that and fund things for the schools. I mean, there are things that could be done that just aren't done.
They're not going to do it.
They're
just not going to do it. The schools are starting to get a lot. Like I know a lot of schools you can't I volunteered at Jesse Bethel High School. It was career day and I went to go, was that this week? Anyway, I went to go speak to one of the classes there. It's like you can't get into the school. My kids went there. A couple of my kids went there. And when they went there, it was an open campus. Now it's like there's a big black fence around the whole school. You have to get, buzzed in or what. You have to go to the office basically. And so I went to the office. They have a security guard that's standing outside the office that was like, can I help you? And so then, you have to sign in and then you get let in through the gate or the fence to get into the school. So I think a couple of schools that I have gone to have done that. You know what I mean? Have locked up.
There are, especially the urban schools.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those are, in the urban settings. But I'm trying to look through here and see on the agenda, and I'm trying to figure out how you forgot to add that to the agenda that you spoke at Jesse Bethel for the career day.
Career day.
That's a big deal.
I know. So my work, well, it's not really a big deal.
It is a big deal.
My work, who will stay anonymous, my work has this volunteer day, and they sign up to volunteer at schools, whatever they need, and then they send out a newsletter, and I seen that one they were doing Jesse Bethel. And so I volunteered, to think that I was going to be lifting lunches or
go work at the snack
bar. And then they the 2 days before we're going, they're like, oh, here's the agenda. You're going to speak on your academic career or your career journey. And I was like, what the? So I did that. And so I was with an attorney, an accountant, and then an analyst.
The attorney, was he the owner of the firm? Was she the owner of the firm?
She worked for the Fed.
Oh.
These are people that I work with. These are people that I work with. So, she was an attorney at where I work. He was an accountant at where I work, and the other guy was.
So Naki works for the FBI. It's out there.
Yeah, there you go. I work for the FBI. So there you go.
She's what do they call you guys? G-man. She's a G-man.
I'm a G-woman.
She's a woman in black.
Yeah. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed it because, my kids went there, and I spoke about my kids going there, and then the kids were interested and they were paying attention. So
that's a big deal.
It was a big deal. So
don't act like it's not a big deal.
All right, let's get to next topic.
All right, next topic. So, and this has just happened in the last hour or so. There was a lot of thought that there was big news coming out a couple of weeks ago that there was a grand jury in New York that was looking at indicting former President Trump for that. Didn't hear back in time. So I think there was, the whole Trump camp thought, it's going to blow over. There's not going to happen. Nothing's going to come out of that. Well,
no.
Something happened about 2 hours ago. The grand jury handed down indictments for President Trump, former President Trump, he will become the first former president to face criminal charges. So this is all new ground. It's all new ground for a former president to be charged.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be all kinds of things like it. So, you have Secret Service. If you're a former president, you still are protected with Secret Service. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. That brings up the question: if he goes to jail, does he get the Secret Service detail in jail?
No, not if you're a criminal. Not if you're a criminal.
Well, it's all new ground. It's all new ground. So, you have presidents that committed, what I would consider war crimes. You have presidents that refuse to protect Native Americans from the army. You had presidents that refused to do all kinds of things, and they never faced charges. President Trump, former President Trump, is going to be arraigned next week. Has to do with the hush money and the cover up with Stormy Daniels, former porn star. I don't know what she is. But
was she a porn star?
Yeah. She was,
man.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
So there was, I don't know. It stems from that. The arraignment is supposed to be next week. This is not a criminal justice show, so I don't know exactly how the workings of it go. But as we were putting the agenda together today, that I just hit my my news ticker, and I was like, hey, let's talk briefly about it. But I'm sure it's all over the news now, and you're going to see it all over the news in the next few days. But groundbreaking, going to be the first time. It is the first time.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Trump. I don't. Okay.
We have a studio audience here today.
Yeah, I know.
We have a little applause and laughter sign we hold up, and then everybody, cheers or laughs. But, to me, this is so. Like I said, you have presidents who did really bad things. I mean, bad things that ruined people's lives and never faced charges. Trump is going to face charges for trying to cover up his affair with a porn star. Like, this is silly, it's dumb, but you reap what you sow. And when you make your platform about pissing people off, like, this is the back end of that. So I don't feel bad for him. I do look at it and think of all the bad things other presidents have done and shake my head at, like, how do charges get filed for this and not in the past? But it is what it is. That's the world we live in today.
Yeah. So Michael Tan is on with Behind the Lava, checking in on Facebook.
Ooh, real quick. So next Friday, not tomorrow, but the following Friday, we will have our second MMA show with collaboration with the Faika broadcast, myself and members of Behind the Lava. So look for that. That will be next Friday. We're going to preview the UFC pay-per-view card on Saturday, a week from this Saturday. So April 8th, I think, or whenever that Friday is, we're going to have our second MMA show.
Nice. Joe Harmon is checking in on Facebook. Arlia Faleva, which will
Flip it, girl.
Flip it, girl.
No, it's not a Luke Skywalker song.
What is a Luke Skywalker song? Who? Oh, okay. I'm like way off. Community announcements. Community announcements. All my Usos blood drive is happening April 8th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2055 Sunnydale Avenue in San Francisco. Please schedule an appointment or contact Christine Mawia at Christine@allmyusos. Yeah. Oh, and they're having their I'm so sorry. They're having their family day, which is happening August 19th, 2023 at Gilman Park in San Francisco. This event is free to the community. I said free. They'll have free food, free entertainment, games for the kids. Pie Fest will be there. Just all giving away backpacks and school supplies. If you would like to table, not sell anything, but give information. If you're a vendor that has information, you can't sell items there, but They'll have a DJ. They'll have games. They have jumpers.
How much would the
Carnival.
otai be from Kiss My Boba?
Kiss My Bobas
How
is
much will the
usually
otai be?
free.
Oh.
Everything there
How much is the
free.
parking?
Free. Everything is free unless you double park and get a ticket. But it's
if you double park and get a ticket, it's not free. But where are you going to be August 19th?
I am going to be at Gilman Park in San Francisco from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 9 or 10 a.m. 10 to 5. Get there at Gilman Park. It's a free event. Actually, it's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
You probably will be there at 10.
I will be. Christine Mawia, or follow all my Usos on their Instagram page. Hit them up if you want to volunteer or be a vendor at this free event, All My Usos Family Day, August 19th.
I was getting ready to go because I thought maybe you were going to do that part later, but I'm glad you finished that off. Whangongo Samoa's casting call. Samoan Solutions is calling all actors and actresses. The play will be open to all ages. There's voluntary participation. Experience is preferred but not required. Auditions for certain roles will be in place. Weekend practices will be mandatory for all cast members. Know that before you sign up. It is a commitment.
Yep.
If interested, please contact Samoan Solutions on their Instagram page or Facebook page.
Right. Rhythmic Catalyst presents Will Gittin on April 28th. That is FIA, and Fee will be May 4th at Malavali Hall at India Community Center, 524 Kacha Street, Milpitas. General admission is $30 and $40 at the door. Get your tickets at rhythmiccatalyst.com. April 28th, they'll have Will Gittin and Annalay Brown and David Thomas. You can also get your tickets at rhythmiccatalyst.com.
And we also have our ukulele festival happening Sunday, April 30th at James Logan High School Center for the Performing Arts in Union City, California. It's from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., $10 per person, 13 years and older, 12 and younger, get in free. NorCal Ukulele Festival also has a scholarship award for current high school students who are active participants in the traditions or musical culture of the ukulele. More details on their Instagram page at NorCal Ukulele Festival.
Yay. The 10th Annual Pacific Islander Violence Prevention Conference by Peninsula Conflict Resolution Center, PCRC, is happening June 7th through the 9th, building a legacy of healing, meaningful approaches in healing to improve peace now and tomorrow. Peace now and tomorrow. For tabling or marketing, contact Britt Afu at BAFU@pcrcweb.org. How about that?
Talofa everyone, this is Auntie Lena speaking, so please listen up. There's a disease out there that's killing our people. It's called hepatitis B. 1 out of 12 immigrant Pacific Islanders are infected with hepatitis B in the U.S., and it makes you 100 times more likely to get liver cancer. 2/3 of those infected don't know it because there are often no symptoms until it's too late. Ask your doctor for a Hep B test today or call us at 510-674-5843 or visit us at sfhepbfree.org. Find us on Facebook and leave a message. A 5-minute test can save your life, so just do it. This message brought to you by SF Hep B Free.
Nacky. What you doing? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. We are headed up north. It's one of our favorite things to do. It's always nice to talk to educators and, people that are doing things and athletes, but our heart's with the entrepreneur. Our heart is with the person that's going to make something out of, nothing and just kind of find a niche. And that's what's going on up in Kent, Washington. So Naki, why don't you introduce us to our amazing guest and we'll get into all the stuff he's into.
Yes, we have AJ Allen, who is one of the owners and creators of Nesian Builds Apparel, along with Mark Mofnas, who will be joining us maybe later in a little bit. So they created their brand to provide comfortable and affordable gear that represents Pacific Islanders in one brand. They love being able to use the representation of Nesian Built 3 regions, one Pacifica to unite and empower Pacific Islanders. I love that. Something really important to them is spreading what they call the Nesian built mindset, which is all about going for goals, facing and overcoming adversity and hard work. AJ was raised and graduated in Saipan. Mark was raised and graduated in Guam. Welcome, AJ.
Thank you guys so much for having me. And
Great.
Mark, when he finally gets here.
Yeah, we're so excited. I was telling Carl, so I'm on Instagram and well, it's been a while, but when you guys first popped on, you were popping up in my news feed and I was like, ooh, look at new entrepreneurs. I love it. I love it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff that they're, and then you guys have this podcast. And then I started following and stalking you. And I was like telling Carl, like, we're always talking about entrepreneurs, and I always say shop Pacifica. So I'm always I love earrings. So I'm always stalking people with earrings, but I love that you guys have started Nesian Built. And so tell us a little bit more about Nesian Built.
Yeah, so Nesian Built, we started it as the brand to cover all, the regions of Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
We worked at the airport together. Me and Mark were security at the airport, and we were workout partners. And what we noticed at the airport, we clinged on to pretty much all Pacific Islanders in our group, and we all kind of stuck together all the time as workout partners. I talked to Mark a lot. I got to know him really well, and I always wanted to start something. So, especially after I got out of the military, I wanted to start something new. Go on a new journey. And Nesian Built came to mind. All I could think about was, my island roots, how I grew up, how I felt we were unique and different. And Nesian Built was the way. And of course, because me and Mark were workout partners, fitness had to be a part of it. So that's a really big, piece of our brand. And, we push the mindset really hard with a lot of, not just by, getting gear out to, the Islanders out here, but pushing the mindset to, push for goals, overcome obstacles. We all go through stuff, and, we try to provide, our lessons, tell our stories of how we get through it so it could help other people.
Did you know each other before the job, or did you guys meet at the job?
No, we actually met in the job.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I didn't know Mark, but he actually lived in Kent too. And it's funny how we crossed paths because we felt like we would cross paths at some point, because before I got the job, or we started those jobs, Mark was a corrections officer, or he was working to be a corrections officer. And then not long after he left there and got the job at the airport, the security job, I was trying to become a corrections officer at the same jail. So it's funny how then we actually met over there at the airport. I knew he was Chamorro because of his last name. And then I guess we just started hanging out. But he is here. The man is here.
That's funny how we end up where we're supposed to be. Where we're supposed to meet. That's awesome. We weren't sure that we were going to get both halves of the business, but it looks like we are fortunate enough to get both of you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Not about sorry, I have family in town, so
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. I love it. I love it. So AJ was just telling us a little bit about how you guys met and why you started. Tell us about how you created the clothing, like how you chose what pieces, and did you do it yourself? Who's making the gear, who created the logo, everything.
it was definitely a huge learning curve for us when it came to that part. We had to do some due diligence in the beginning to figure out how to even get that process started. We definitely went kind of the lower risk route with just doing kind of a drop shipping method in the beginning. Which was, not the ideal because, we can't control the quality and stuff like that as far as what we want to put out there. But it was a way for us to actually just get started and start to learn the process. And through that, we just started exploring other avenues and how we can improve the quality of the clothing that we're going to provide for our our customers and design and stuff like that. So, it really, for us, it was just a huge learning curve. And the quickest way for us to get started, like I said, was that drop shipping method.
What were some of the things you took away from, like, we did Teespring for a while, and it was okay because it was kind of like our own thing, but it was really like, it was something, it felt like there were starter wheels with it, right? It's just good enough to get something designed and something out there. But to your point, you don't really control your product or your brand. Were there things that you took away from that? I mean, was it basically like, this isn't good enough? Is that what you took away from it? Or were there pieces of the business that helped with?
Well, I think with drop shipping, it was the biggest part for us was we had to charge way more than we really wanted to charge for, items because of what they charged us, for each item. That was one thing. And the quality wasn't what we wanted. We didn't want people wearing, our brand, and just the prints were crooked. They were, they just, it wasn't quality stuff that we're putting out. And we went from, drop shipping to asking, we had other like island entrepreneurs out here that did screen printing and stuff like that. So we kind of moved on to that. And then, it's kind of like something that we talked about in like our very first podcast. It's just like, sometimes, people just don't put in the time and the effort as you would, yourself, for your business, for your brand, because it's your stuff. And, you don't want to, like we said, we don't want people using their hard-earned money to buy our products, and it's not, something they really want. So we want to make sure that when we do get products out there, that they are worth the person's money, our customers' money. So, we kind of took it into our own hands to figure out how to, just do it ourselves. So, we went into heat pressing our own stuff, and, and that started a whole new thing, because that's a lot of work, and we print a lot. We print a lot of stuff. We started on kind of like what drop shipping does, where we order bulk shirts, bulk hoodies, and then when the order comes in, we print it right there on demand, and we get it out, send it out. But that was hard too. So once a bunch of orders came in, so now it's different. We kind of systematized a lot of things now, make things simpler for ourselves. But it's really good that we, like we said, like Naki was saying, we try to be the affordable brand. Like, we don't want to be the brand that, because I know how I am. Also, I'm a consumer that I don't like spending a lot of money on stuff. Like, when it comes to clothing, I like being comfortable. I like my stuff simple, and I like it to be affordable. So, we try to be that for, the island people.
I think that, and to a certain degree, there is that the value. I mean, there's the cost, right? But on the other hand, like, there's a brand that we work with a lot. They're here in Northern California, Levasa, and they are, but you get what you pay for, right? Yeah. So if I got to pay for something that's somewhat cheap, and then I wear it, 4 or 5 times, and I wash it, and it starts, it feels like, well, I can't wear this very many times, or, I don't mind paying a little bit for something that's quality. So it's nice to see that, you're trying to meet the demand of the people and respecting the customer's dollar. Like, I don't want you to buy one thing and then, oh, I got your $50, and then you never come back. Bad business model. We really want to jump into the podcast piece of it, but man, I definitely want to hear about your journey, starting it up. What was Naki and I know what our discussion was. We know how we started. We always talk about, we did this. We're always driving around in a car, blah, blah, blah. We got that down. How did you guys end up at the point where you're talking to each other going, you know what? Like, let's start something. And what was the genesis of that? Where did that come about from?
It's funny because we kind of remember it in different ways.
Yeah.
He thinks, you can go into your part first.
So like AJ was explaining earlier, we worked together. We worked out a lot together. He approached me one day and said he wanted to start a clothing brand, and he's like, we got to do all this. He's got to figure out how to even start it. So from what I can remember, it went from a me to a we. That's what I tell everybody. Somehow I got worked into that idea and that plan. So I was just like, what the heck, let's go.
But for me,
story, yeah.
Well, from my side, So I remember I used to tell Mark about everything that I was trying to figure out along the way, because I think I spent about 3-4 months just, researching. I spent a lot of time right after work. I'd go start researching stuff, trying to figure out how to. I mean, I had no clue how to do any of it. Even just designing
Adobe,
and stuff.
Adobe
Illustrator, everything.
Trying to navigate that thing it's already a headache.
Yeah, so I started talking. I would tell Mark everything I was doing during our workouts, and we have conversations about it. And then I swear I started learning more about Mark, like the person that he was, I had to make sure, because I was already thinking that I'm going to ask him to join me on this at some point. And I learned he's a family man. I could trust him. And all that through all the working out together after work and stuff like that. That's what I learned. And I remember the night before, I was like, I think I'm gonna ask him tomorrow. And we worked early in the morning. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. That's probably why he doesn't remember. I swear he came in, and we were sitting down waiting for our morning briefing, and I was just like, hey bro, do you want to join me on this? Like, you want to start Nesian Build apparel with me? And I swear he said yeah. he said no, he would have kept going, but I swear he said yeah. And it's been about 5 years now, so yeah, we just keep trying to grow. We keep trying to figure it out. It's a process. It's hard. It's not something that's easy, and it's what we're trying to do, and how much of an impact we're trying to make. It's not easy, but we're willing to go through it.
I know when Carl and I first started, and we were everywhere at events trying to just highlight all Pacific Islanders and what they're doing. And people would send us messages and go, can you and your team? It was just me and Carl. Is that, how many people are on your team?
Us.
Right. But you guys make it seem like when I go through and you guys come up on my new, it looks like it's like a big company that's created, So I love it. It's so funny to me when people say, "Oh, Nesian Built Company," there's about 50 of them, and there's like 2 people running around.
I wish.
Soon there will be.
We definitely have a lot of supporters and ambassadors. That's probably what makes it look like it. We have a big team, which really we kind of do,
Yeah.
We talk about we talk to a lot of Micronesian, Polynesian, Melanesian entrepreneurs, and it's interesting how sometimes it's a mixed bag, but we get some people that are like, oh yeah, the family was all in from jump, and we have other people that say, my family was kind of like, that's cute. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. And then other people are like, I have both, but it's kind of interesting seeing that there's just a mixed bag. There's not, it's not, you would think, family is so strong that every family is going to jump behind every entrepreneur. And then sometimes it seems like it's just the entrepreneur, like Naki and I have spoken about that. Like, this is our dream. Like, it's hard for us to get other people to look at it in the same way, because it is not their dream. It's, they may be along for the ride, or they're connected, or they're, those kind of things. But have you felt a big support, mixed bag? Like, how has the support been with you guys?
Yeah, I would say about a mixed bag. You know, there's definitely people, when we started on, and it's kind of like what you were saying, they're like, no, that's cool. We'll see how long it lasts. That's how I feel anyway. That's from my side is what I'm speaking on. But the longer we're hang in there, the more and more serious they see we are. They start to come around now. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Mark, have you noticed it's been 15 minutes and me and AJ have not cursed at all?
Oh, wow. If this was the Nesian Built podcast, it was 50 times right now.
What has been your favorite part this far? Like, what has been your aha moment of Nesian Built, where you were like, this is what I'm supposed to do?
Man,
I would say probably getting our shop was one of them. Starting out in his garage, and then him saying, one day we're going to get a shop. We even had like a theme song plan that we're going to play once we finally open up.
Yeah.
For me, that was our aha mind.
Oh yeah. I mean, Oh, I need to tag on to that though. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like all these things. Like it's crazy that we went in the last 5 years, where we've gone with it. Went from drop shipping to printing our own stuff in my garage, spending weekends, printing stuff, sending out orders, Black Fridays. Only dreaming about, talking about, just what we have now, envisioning it, manifesting it. But it's the same thing, like, with manifesting, it's, you can think, you can dream about it, visualize it, but you have to put in the work and you have to do what you have to do to get there. And, when I envision this, and I talk to Mark about it all the time. And like we said, we were working out. We're talking about, oh, we can't wait till we get a warehouse, man. And we, can print in a warehouse, send orders out. It'd be cool. And then, it goes from that to our theme song when we get into the warehouse. And then it goes to, man, if only we can get this store up front, man, it'll be cool to have a podcast, all these things that we talked about. And now it's just now we truly believe if we think about it and it's an idea, we can go for it. We can just go for it. We don't have to be scared of anything. There's no fear. We're not afraid of anybody's opinions. We're doing what we want to do because we feel that it's right. And if it's going to help us on our journey to, impact, our people in the right ways, then we want to do that. So
it's so funny as an entrepreneur, you envision like when this happens, it's going to feel like this. And what Naki and I have found is it's interesting because when you get there, it's like you've got that, but then the fire's still there. And now there's something new. It's like once you get to where you thought about 6 months ago or a year ago, you get there and you're like, nah,
what else can I do? What else?
Right. I haven't arrived. There's a new frontier that I'm like, it's just this. I think entrepreneurs have that, like that itch of like, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. There's something next. There's something new. Yeah. And it's funny how like at one point, Naki and I were doing the show out of her dining room. You're talking about the garage, like entrepreneurs just find a way to do it. Have you both had that in your, did you see that growing up, that entrepreneurial spirit with a mom, a dad, uncle? Did you see that, or do you feel like you've kind of been able to manifest that on your own?
I don't think I saw that too much as a kid.
I don't think I saw that either much.
Yeah, my family was kind of more strict and, just go to work and get,
very traditional.
Yeah, very traditional in my family. But I think it's just been just along the path we've really like found it. I think like even while I was in the military too, it was the same thing. It kind of felt like, just get to work. There's always something more you can do. You can always get better. And it's the same thing. And then it kind of gets brought right into Nesian Built. And I think especially with this last year, we've kind of really felt that like with how we've been way more intentional with everything we've done, and I don't know if you guys like caught it, but we've been kind of putting ourselves in a place where even if it has nothing to do with just Nesian Built directly, like Carl, you were saying, just every time there's a goalpost, but then it keeps getting moved back. And it's like last year we were just talking about doing a program called 75 Hard, and we did that. And then we decided we never thought we could do that. We never thought we could do that program. It's a hard program. And then we ended up doing it twice last year. And then we set out. I think it was. I ran a marathon, my first marathon last year. Never thought I could run a marathon ever.
Wow.
And I ran it with my wife and a buddy of mine. We never thought we could do that. It was a crazy idea. So we just keep pushing the hard. What we thought was hard before is now normal. So it's like right now I'm training for my second marathon, which I want to run faster, So we're just pushing the hard and making it our normal, So that's kind of what we try to do here.
So you're done with, I just want to complete one. Now you're past, I just want to complete one. I want to do it faster than last time.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. I love that. I was getting all teary-eyed because it's like we don't realize how simple those words are. You just believe it, say it out loud, and really you're praying, right, when you say it out loud, but you have to work hard to get it.
Yeah.
And then once we get there, we're like, dang, you really can do whatever you set your mind to and work hard at it. So, and I just seen your face light up when you were talking about that, like it really clicked, because that's how it was with us too. It was like, you just say it, work hard for it, and then it just, when it happens, you're like, okay, what else can we do? What else can we do? And I love that drive that you guys have. How did the podcast start?
The fact that started off tough.
Yeah, definitely rough.
It was a rough one. Like we talked about it, and Mark is the tech guy for the brand, so he does the videos and stuff like that. I'm more of the operations in the warehouse stuff. Mark handles all the videos and podcast editing and stuff like that. But I told you that you got to figure out how we're doing that, man.
I definitely think, especially after going over through 75 hard and seeing what we could accomplish, when you put your mind to something and you push yourself, I think that kind of helped create that
moment.
Yeah, that momentum and the need and the want to like express to other people, like, you can do whatever you set your mind to do. You know what I mean? So I think the podcast was our way of helping or to tell our story in another format, instead of just through the brand and, social media. Definitely podcast was kind of the long form version of what we want to do to help other people,
I love that.
That saying, you can do anything you want. You put your mind to it. You hear your parents say it. You hear people say it. And it's just a cliche until you understand it and you do it. And then you're like, wait a minute. That's true. But it's just words until you've lived it and you've done something that, to your point of like, I ran a marathon. I never thought I could even, run a 5K or a 10K, more or less a marathon. But that, it does sometimes when people would say that before I understood it, I'd be like, stop with that. Just stop with it. You can do anything you put your mind to.
I think it's simple.
Simple,
but it's not easy. And that's where people get confused, They just.
As an entrepreneur, this bugs me. I don't know if it bugs Naki, but it bugs me as an entrepreneur when people are like, you should do this. And you should do, here's what you could do. And it's like, you got great concepts, but the whole idea of knowing how much work goes into putting an idea into action and getting it on the road and moving your belief and your passion down the road, knowing how much work that is. There's a lot of times where, my friends or family or whatever are like, it'd be cool if you did this. I'm like, yep, it sure would. You want help?
Yeah,
like,
Carl's the nice one. Carl is the nice one they go to. When they come to me, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Did you do it? Okay, then never mind. Show me where you did it and I'll follow your steps. Like, it's because it's not that easy, right? I mean, we know it's not that easy. You got to really work and really want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Who are and I'll start with you, Mark. Who was your role model growing up?
I kind of spoke about this in one of our podcasts. My dad was a huge role model for me. Just growing up and he, watching him, and the times that I did live with my dad, kind of helped shape and mold me to who I am today. Even though I did grow up in a broken family, but it wasn't until I got older that I realized that the way I think and some of the things I do and how I act is definitely taken from him. Unintentionally. And I have those moments all the time where it's like, man, I sound just like my dad. And I get it all the time. So definitely he's one of the main ones.
Awesome. What about you, AJ?
I didn't really grow up with my dad. My mom and dad split up when I was younger. So that's why I moved to Saipan with my mom and my brother. But I didn't need a dad when I had all the uncles that I had. And I had two uncles that were just, they were basically opposites, but and they basically gave me what I needed to become the man that I, became. And I say the number one is my mom's brother, my uncle Albert, that he showed no love. It wasn't he wasn't soft on me, nothing like that. But I think he made me become a man a lot sooner than I thought. Anybody you would think they should, but he's just a hard work ethic. Like what he ingrained in me from such a young age I think it's a big part of who I am now. And I just believe that, you can't take anything bad away from hard work. Like there's everything in the world that you possibly want can be done with the hard work. And my uncle was always on me like that. And he doesn't know it. He doesn't. I don't talk to him much even now, and he's different than he was before. But he's definitely a big part. Big part in my life for sure.
So a couple things with that as a man. I think I didn't really understand it. I do now, but I didn't understand it growing up, how important having a positive male role model is my life. It was my father. But if you don't have I don't know what I would do. You know what I mean? Because I was just a sponge as a kid, and I picked up everything from my dad, good and bad. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see, the good things, you're going to see the bad things, you're going to pick up both. But you get so much as a man from who the man is that you're watching, or the men it is, that you're watching growing up. So it's interesting to hear men talk about that this, and it's not always, the role model could be the entrepreneurial spirit, may not be a guy, but when men talk about the men and the role models in their life, it touches me, because I didn't know it at the time. I knew it later when I was like, oh, that's where I get my work ethic from. Like, my dad didn't tell me you got to go to work every day, but he was gone at dark and home at dark, working all day long. So just through observation, like, that's what a man, in my mind, that's what a man does. It's always working. He's always doing something. But it's cool to see. So how many episodes have you guys done with the podcast?
16?
Yeah.
16 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And are they short, longer? Are they like 20 minutes, half hour? Are they longer?
About an hour.
About an hour. Yeah. It seems like an hour is I don't know. It seems like the sweet spot. Originally, when Naki and I started, we were like, we had a 2-hour spot on a radio station, and we were horrified about signing up for 2. We were like, what are we? I mean, we came to the first show with like so many topics, and we got through like 4 of them, and we had like 30 topics. We were like, we're never going to fill 2 hours. How's the experience been now that you're in control of the content and it's your conversation? Do you feel like it flows well? Do you feel like how do you feel as being a podcaster at this point, 16 episodes in?
An hour can go by real fast is what we found. For us, for me, I feel like it kind of starts slow in the beginning, especially if we have a guest on, just kind of getting out the, kind of breaking the ice, getting the nerves, jitters out of the way. But I mean, we'll get in a conversation, and by the time I look down at our little audio time, we're at 55 minutes. It's like, holy smokes.
That's easy to do. To do. I know all your guests are awesome and great, but is there a guest that has been the most, not favorite, but the most intriguing, or that you feel like you've got a lot out of the conversation?
Yeah, we had one of our first ones, Dyson. I've known Dyson. He runs a brand. He's really popular in the Micronesian community with Custorians, and he came on, and I really enjoyed the conversation with him. He talked a lot about the truth and about the the facts of when he grew up as a Micronesian in Hawaii, and I enjoyed that conversation with him speaking out on that kind of stuff. And he runs his own brand. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own trucking company. He was in the military as well. I know him from I actually know him from softball, and we always have island softball tournaments out here in Washington. So nice. I met him through that, but he's a really good dude, and I really enjoyed hearing his story. And I think he plays a really big role in the Micronesian community that knows him. He's really popular among them, and I can see why.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I would say that was a good one. Also, one of the other guests we had, Darisha.
Yeah.
Just kind of hearing her, like, kind of what she had to overcome when she was young, in her personal life, and just seeing the mentality that she has towards life now, even though in the beginning it sounded like life was just beating her to the ground. There was no out, and to see the fire that she has now toward anything that she does in life and her entrepreneurship that was inspiring. So that was a good guest too.
And with Darisha, I thought it was really interesting that it didn't matter. She didn't care that things could have been hard. People probably mistreated her. She went through some really rough times, but she never ever thought that she would do the same to anybody else, because it was under her. She never thought that she was never thinking that, this is what the world is giving me, so I'm gonna give it back the same way. She just flipped it and said, I'm gonna spread love. I'm gonna, spread kindness, and that's how I'm gonna do it. That's how I'm gonna make my way. So
It's amazing how people tell in their this was another point I wanted to make about you talking about your uncle and saying, hey, I don't even know if he knows this. So when we have these shows, we always talk about that you're gonna touch people in your journey. Maybe this show, maybe not this show, maybe your website and people see what you're doing, your podcast, but you're gonna affect somebody, a lot of people, and they may not ever reach out and say, hey, you had Darisha on your on your podcast, or you had Dyson, you know what I mean, like those kind of things. You probably never, most of them you'll never hear about it, but there's a big wake we leave. There's a big shadow that we cast, a positive one. And a lot of times, people like teachers and coaches and aunties and uncles are those things that they don't get, they don't get the call or the, hey, I want to let you know that, how special you were to me. So know that you're affecting lives out there. I do want to get this out there. I'm going to go on the website after our interview, and I'm going to buy two things. I'm going to buy one that each of you are going to recommend, because I love wearing my gear on the show. So we'll start with Mark. What is it that I should buy when I go to the site?
I definitely love these windbreaker style jackets. So if we have any more left on the site, I would definitely highly recommend. I wear it every day almost.
All right, windbreaker. AJ?
Yeah. I run a lot of miles, so it's very important that I have good socks. And
Okay.
I use Nesian built socks, and Nesian built socks have been the best socks I've ever used in weightlifting, running. I put in a lot of miles, and these socks are great. No blisters and stuff like that. But
The windbreaker, and I run from the couch to the refrigerator, and from the refrigerator maybe to the car and then back. But I'll get some good socks to do that.
Are you
run.
even comfortable with your feet up on the couch?
Yes, awesome.
How about you, Naki? You getting recommendations?
Oh, I'm a hoodie. I wear crew necks and hoodies.
Oh, you already know.
I'll be going for the hoodies, so I'll be in there with the hoodies, and we'll be wearing it on our show. We love the stuff that you guys are doing. We love that Pacifica people are out there creating their own clothes for our own people. And there's so many podcasts, which I love, that are created by Pacific Islanders for Pacific Islanders. We're telling our own story to our own people. And that's what I love that you guys are doing. We always tell people, our podcast might not be for you, but here, go check out these people here. There's something for everyone. And I love that there's starting to be more and more and more Pacific Islanders putting out podcasts, making our own clothes. Cause that's like every show we always say, shop Pacifica. Shop Pacific Islanders. Like before you go get that Nike sweatshirt or whatever, go over here first, and then if you can't find what you're looking for, but that's never the case.
But I bet you find something.
I always find something. I always look for stuff, and we shop Pacifica because we love supporting one another. We are going to let you go and get back to your families because Mark has guests waiting on him, family members. But we appreciate your time. We appreciate your business and all the work that you're doing. And representation is so important for our community. And we always say too on our show, it's a great time to be a Pacific Islander. It's a great time to be a Pacific Islander. Any last words? We know that we can find you online. We have you at, let me pull it up first.
Nesianbuilt.com. All right,
Yes.
I'm shopping right now.
Yes, Nesianbuilt.com. Find them on Instagram, Nesian Built, Facebook, TikTok. I'm going to stalk your TikTok. I love TikTok. Please go follow Shop Pacifica, get online, support your Pacific Islander entrepreneurs. AJ, Mark, thank you so much. God bless you, and congratulations on all your success.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you guys. Thanks for
Carl,
having us
Nike,
on.
thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Appreciate you guys.
Pleasure's ours. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I I love them. AJ and Mark, Nesian Bill. Please go follow them on social media. Go shop, shop, shop. I have worn my sweatshirt. I got a hoodie. I got a hoodie that I think I've worn like a million times now since I've gotten it.
Grateful
But
to
good quality. It kept me warm. It's the first thing I put on in the morning. And I was going to wear it again today, but I've already worn it. Like, I think I wore it last week. And then right when I got it.
You don't want to be that fobby.
Yeah. But they also, like, I got socks that I wear. Haha. And I love their hoodies. It's really, really good quality. So please go shop Nesian Bill. Go follow them. Go listen to their podcast. Go support.
I got their
Bill.
hat on right now.
Yes.
I bought 2 pairs of socks and a sweatshirt and a long sleeve t-shirt is next on the shopping list.
Yeah,
so.
they gave me socks.
They gave you
It's
socks.
a no though.
Yeah,
so please do not.
I was
do
about
not.
to get on you about that.
Yes, we don't.
No giving us
we
anything.
Don't. Yes, we don't. We don't take freebies. Thank you very much. I appreciate it though because I wear it. I appreciate it. So yeah, AJ and Mark, great guys. Please go follow them on social media and support. Yay!
Look for good things to come out of them.
Yes,
probably check them out when we
definitely.
make it up that way. We'll probably stop in and see them. So
yes, when we go to Washington, we're going to stop at their huge warehouse with their 50 million employees, and there you go.
I think we'll walk out of there like we did with I took Naki, for those of you that weren't aware of this, I took Naki to the Nike store
in Oregon. It's the employee.
She went bazonkers
I went
in there.
Crazy. I went nuts. We need to go back because I got to go get some more stuff.
Road trip time.
And
head up to Beaverton or wherever it is.
Yeah, it's the Nike employee store. So not everybody has access. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, Naki likes being special. So speaking of being special, today is a special day for one of PBD's very own. Is there you see? It's Miss Leah Faleava.
That is Mrs. Leah Faleava.
And Leah is we call her the chaos coordinator and the herder of cats because she is the one that gets us signed up and gets us right with grants. And then she's the one that texts us and says, hey, we need to get on a call because you guys need to do X, Y, and Z. And if we didn't have her, we would be late on every deliverable we ever have with every grant that we've ever worked with. So, that's just what she does for PBD. As a person and as somebody that we met, I think we met at Cafe Wellness, right?
We did meet at Cafe Wellness.
Here's a shout out for the community programs. Cafe Wellness was a program that Naki and I were like really actively involved with in 2016 to 2019. And right now they're actually taking testimonials for their program. So it's a good time to talk about Cafe Wellness. And this is the power of community programs. We met Leah at Cafe Wellness, and I think within like 45 days we were in Samoa together. It was we just bonded immediately. We traveled, I don't know, halfway or more than halfway around the world with her.
We did.
Came back and she started helping us with PBD.
Yes.
And now she's got Flip It Girl. So follow Leah there.
Go follow her on Instagram.
Main thing we wanted to do was give her a shout out, say happy birthday. We love you. And thank you for coordinating chaos and herding cats for PBD.
Happy birthday to my Leah girl. Please go follow. She flips furniture. She's remodeled my front yard. She's just an amazing artist and just everything. She's everything, and PBD wouldn't be what it is
Definitely
without our Leah. So there you go. Happy birthday, girl.
Happy 21st.
Yeah. So there you go. Our Pacifica Proud.
Pacifica Proud. It is the last episode of Faika during Herstory Month, Women's Herstory Month.
What?
So yeah, the last of that type. We will move on. I'm not sure what if April is a thing. I know that May is Asian American Pacific Islander Month. Yeah. I'm not sure what April is. We'll check that out. But this month we wanted to focus on Pacifica women in history. Not necessarily history, I mean, then in current, but we wanted to talk about Pacifica women. And I wanted to talk about Queen Liliuokalani, and mainly because I think that she gets missed in history in terms of she was the last member of the Hawaiian dynasty. Um, she was the last sitting member. Her throne was taken illegally, not even by the U.S. government. It was taken illegally by business people. So the sugarcane and the industry were the people that overthrew her, and the U.S. government just basically refused to do anything about it. So she was a worldly woman. She, as a princess, traveled to the United States. She made a relationship with Grover Cleveland, who was the president at the time, and then went on to meet with Queen Victoria, which at that time was not done very many times by people of color. So not only a person of color, but a woman of color met with Queen Victoria, and established herself as a worldwide figure. And that's a picture of her with Queen Victoria.
Nice.
And so after the overthrow of the dynasty, she continued to communicate with Grover Cleveland. And Grover Cleveland actually was an advocate for the Hawaiians. He wanted to give Hawaii back to the Hawaiians. And Congress was actually the ones that said no. So Grover Cleveland was an ally. But what's important there is Queen Liliuokalani was a woman of color campaigning for her people at that time. So when people think of, like, when was the first, woman of color in politics, and they talk about, Pacific Islanders in the 1900s, 1950, 1960, or, black females, Asian American females. Queen Liliuokalani had established a relationship with a sitting president and campaigned for her people. She was a woman of color, in advocacy position, and is not in the history books for that kind of thing. So I think she should be recognized for that. She actually wrote a song that you've probably all heard, Aloha Oe. She is actually the songwriter of that. So when you hear that, that was actually written by Queen Liliuokalani. And on this last show during Women's History Month, Queen Liliuokalani is my Pacifica Proud.
Nice. Very nice.
Who you got?
I have my Pacifica Proud is Ali'i Cravalho. On this week, she did the voice of Moana for the Disney movie, but this week at the premiere of the TV show, The Power, she wore on the red carpet. She had this beautiful dress. And she had the red handprint over her face, and that has become a symbol of. Do we have a picture of her in her dress? And she so she wore this, she represented No More Stolen Sisters, stopping the abuse of murder of Indigenous women. And so with tons of cameras and fans around her, she used that red carpet to spotlight the growing epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women. Ali'i, who is of Hawaiian descent, wore her floral gown by Naeem Khan, and with the red handprint painted across her face. The red handprint of, like I said, has become a symbol within the Indigenous community to represent the murdered and missing Indigenous women movement. So she highlights how Indigenous women are disproportionately affected by violence. And then I have a little snippet of her interview on the red carpet.
Con for my dress, and then I also am representing
Can you hear it?
No More Stolen Sisters.
Oh.
It is about missing and murdered Indigenous women. We were lucky enough to shoot in Vancouver for this series, and I saw many a monument dedicated to them. Indigenous women are 10 times more likely to be kidnapped or abducted, and it is incredibly frustrating that there are not enough cases that are actually followed up with, and it points to police and how they are not using their funds correctly. And I also just really wanted to bring awareness to a movement when we are at a female empowered event and showing such a wonderful storyline. So I'm glad that it's being received well.
So yeah,
good for her for doing that in
so-
a very high profile moment.
Yes,
Right? A lot of people are
yes.
going to be kind of overtaken by the moment, like the
Right.
moment's bigger than they are. And then
Yes.
maybe I have something to say, but I don't say it because the
Yeah.
moment's bigger than her. She's bigger than the moment.
Yeah.
She took her message right onto the carpet.
Yeah. So Ali'i, I love that she did that this week. So she is my Pacifica proud person who is recognizing Indigenous women and all women of color, basically, who are missing and murdered, and not enough resources are helping to look for women of color. So kudos to her. Big shout out to Ali'i, and thank you for your representation on the red carpet this week. That is my Pacifica proud.
Nice pick, Naki. And I like this this big shout out to Timena for kind of putting the Pacifica proud thing out there, and then making us go find people to recognize. And I like not knowing who yours is going to be until the show.
Yeah. I mean, she's been all over social media, so I love that she did this, and her being a Pacific Islander, bringing focus to this movement, this movement that's going on, that no one else, you know what I mean? She's brought she's highlighting this movement. So I appreciate that because, as we know, women of color, Popo ain't looking for them. So there you go.
Popo's not looking. How about that?
So yeah, on a higher note, I'm happy to, if you've missed any part of the Nesian Builds interview, you can watch this again, go back and watch it, or go on YouTube, and then we'll have clips during the week, and I'm sure Nesian Builds will. So please go follow them. Go get your sweatshirt. Go get your hoodie. It's still cold outside. They have T-shirts. It's they've got a lot of sports apparel, and get your hat, get your sweatshirt, get your T-shirt. We'll be back next week at 6:00. So don't be late. Be on time. Come back to FICA with us.
Love y'all.